Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ETS2. Feels like so long since I've played, but here we are again. Couple of updates have gone live in the 140 open beta version, and I think each time they have been improving the weather. My goodness, I am liking this. Very nice morning. Oh, let's get driving, guys. We'll do a Q&A again today with Max's sounds on the NextGen Scania. Really enjoy this sound pack. Oh, and there's the compressor kicking in. I know my stuff now thanks to you guys. You've been teaching me a lot. Good. Alright, off we go. I love it. Super smooth. Okay, so you guys know any news on 140? Have there been any changes that have been implemented that are altering the experience in a major manner? I think so far when I last checked, the 140 beta updates have been mostly about the map fixes and stuff like that. By the way, today we are in Italy, coming from, what's the name, Catanzaro? Going to Rome. Going to be 500 kilometers going there. Should be fun though. Should get some nice sights along the way. I've gotten a lot of questions about the graphics mod that I use. I don't use any anymore, guys. No graphics mods here. This is all default graphics. Not using any graphics mods. I am still using a graphics tweak though. I would put that under a different category because it's not technically a mod. You know, like you put in the bucket of doom. You'll never try to crash into one of those. You will regret it. But yes, I don't use any graphics mods anymore. Like, I don't have any graphics mods in the mod order, the mod profile. You know, the thing that you activate, but instead I have a graphics tweak, which comes in the form of the NVIDIA Profile Inspector. So I got a lot of questions asking about the graphics mods. There is nothing anymore except for that tweak. And if you guys are interested in checking that tweak out, it requires a lot of steps, but it improves the anti-aliasing. It doesn't really change anything with the actual look or the textures or the lighting. It's mainly about the anti-aliasing. So remove the jagged edges, you know how those like shimmering railings from afar? It removes those. Well, it minimizes those. There's still some left, but it's much better than how the default one looks. That's why I cannot get rid of it. But yes, look at that sky from that back there. Very nice. That looks new. I don't think I've noticed that before. My goodness. This is really taking shape now, huh? I like it. Oh, I forgot, with this truck, Max doesn't recommend using the engine brake so much because he's not very happy about the sounds himself. Max is the sound modder who made this. Very nice sound pack. Instead, we should be using the retarder to slow down in addition to our service brakes. Oh, I love the driving feel of this. Yeah, it feels so long since I've played Truck Sim. Over the weekend, I did not touch Truck Sim at all. I was too busy learning to fly the CRJ and Flight Sim. And then I came up with that, the bus early access footage. Thanks guys for the comments there, for your unending support. Even though some of you did not like particularly the game itself, you were very respectful and you gave some constructive feedback in the comments. That's the way we like it, you know. I want you guys to voice out what you really feel, your opinions, but in a more like a civilized way, exactly like how you did it. Well, for the most part. There were still some like trolley comments, but for the most part, you guys are very behaved and like had like very adult conversations, very mature conversations. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you. Good work. 1 second, huh? Shift up here to 12th gear. There we go. Okay, we can enjoy the trip now. But yes, look forward to more videos soon. About what? Who knows? As you guys might have noticed, I don't really have a fixed schedule in terms of what game to feature in a particular day. That's because I oftentimes go by feel now. Before, I tried having a schedule, but sometimes having a schedule is a bit restricting in terms of my creativity. I have very limited creative juices, so to speak. So I really have to go by feel, because if I try to force something, it's going to reflect on the video. So hopefully everything I put out, it shows that I'm really interested and I enjoy what I'm doing. So that's why I decided to go by feel instead of by actual schedule, for the most part. Yeah, anyway, so we'll see. But looks like lots of things coming up ahead. Very interesting stuff. In particular, I'm very interested in the future of Truck Sim. So many goodies from SCS. They have been so hard at work with 140 beta, and they have been featuring, they have been showcasing, they've been making videos and blog posts about the new things that are coming out, like the lighting update, the additional chassis options in ATS for 140, things like that. Very nice, very welcome. And yes, I could say the lighting definitely is much better than before. It's still very easy on the eyes, but it's not subdued anymore, is it? Like, you really see the vibrance of the day, especially if you look at that. This is my favorite shot right there, the shot of that side mirror, and as you see the reflections on the truck, very nice. Oh, that looks so real. Goodness, I just got goosebumps. Whew. Alright, anyway, let's go and proceed with the Q&A. Lots of questions from Plum. We're going to continue from the similar thread. So I did some experiments, guys. I did an experiment. I made a Q&A video with Flight Sim. A couple of you guys seem to enjoy it. Of course, not as much as those who are enjoying Truck Sim, because Truck Sim is still the main content in the channel. So more Truck Sim fans here than Flight Sim fans. There is some intersect though, so nice to see that some people enjoyed that. But yeah, moving forward, I'm not sure if I'll continue it. I might try, mixing the Q&As with Truck Sim and Flight Sim, but I am open to suggestions. So let me know if you have any ideas, okay? Anyway, I in a previous Q&A video, Flight Sim, the first Q&A Flight Sim video, I tackled Plum's question about my standing on paid mods. Oh crap. Let's overtake that guy. Oh, he's going to speed up again. Okay, fine. Man, things feel much smoother than before. Wonder why. Goodness. Okay, anyway. So, he asks, do you see a difference in paid mods between game communities? Like a paid mod for ETS2 versus a paid mod in FS 2020? And actually, Plum himself kind of answered that already. He was looking through Reddit, I think, and found a very interesting, informative post that I fully agree with. And I'd like to share it with you guys. Yeah, because that might put some perspective on this question. Like, maybe it's not just payware versus freeware. Maybe it also depends on the game, on what the developers have it as an aim. So that might put into things some perspective as well. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure if that will make my overall opinion change. But let's go with it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So the premise is, let's start with that Reddit post, and I'll try to link it in the video description if I remember. But the Reddit post is saying something along the lines of, if you're So let's start off with the flight sim. Yeah, it focuses on the flight simulation aspect, not only in FS 2020 but all flight sims, P3D, FSX, X-Plane, and how the entire flight sim community is as a whole. And it says there, it highlights that in a flight sim community, flight simulators in particular, they are more of a platform more than anything. So those simulators serve as the foundation, putting in the physics, the weather, the different tools to make planes, but it actually relies and expects that third-party developers come into play. So that means they really expect there to be people who create the plane. So they focus on the platform, the foundation. They focus on the tools, and then they focus, and then they allow, and then they expect the third-party developers to come in and make the planes, the more advanced hardcore study level or whatever kind of level planes for the community. And more often than not, that comes in the form of payware, because something that involves that amount of work, imagine hundreds of pages of manuals, and those are just the manuals alone. How much more the modeling, the 3D models, the actual coding, the sounds, and how everything fits together. Imagine the hundreds of manuals, the, I don't know, hundreds of models, hundreds of pages of manuals, hundreds of models, hundreds of sound files, thousands of lines of code all merged together. Can you imagine something like that being freeware? I don't think so, at least not for me. Maybe 1 in a million cases, but something that comprehensive, if I were the one who was tasked on doing that, I would want to get paid for it. That's personally me. I'm not sure if you're willing to work that much, like, I don't know, a year or two of your life and have it for free, full time. So yeah, I can definitely understand where the payware stuff is coming from. So I think in a flight simulator environment, that is more the norm, right? Having third-party developers, and so some people would call that mods, because those are not officially planes that came with the original simulator, but those are very much expected, supported, and encouraged by the developers themselves. Now, compare that with truck sim. Yeah, truck sim. Now here, this one we're playing ETS2 ATS by SCS software. It's a very different paradigm. It's a very different situation, I would say, because they're not really, well, they do support mods, yeah, so mod support is officially there, right? So that's a given. Although from their point of view, from how I see it, they are already featuring the full package. You know, they include the map, the roads, the textures, the trucks, the sounds, everything is in the game. So you buy the game, you get everything already. And then if you want icing on the top, if you want to tweak some settings, then you mod it, and they support that as well. But it's not like the simulator, the flight simulator environment where you have like a platform by the developers, by the official developers, and the planes by the third-party developers. Here, it's the platform and the trucks by the official developers, and a few tweaks by the modders, for example. At least that's how it looks, yeah, in the beginning. But since then, it has evolved, I think. And in a way, SCS has created a nice platform here. They have proper mod support. They even have a wiki, a full-on wiki page on how to mod and everything. So the modders have evolved through the years, starting from minor tweaks, minor changes, to full-blown trucks from scratch. And so I would say ultimately that even though that the platforms are a bit different, truck sim and flight sim are a bit different from how they originated, I think in the end it all boils down to the same thing. So for me, I don't have anything against paid mods still, payware stuff, you know. If there's a truck modder, someone who makes the truck from ground up, creates 3D models for them, whether that's one person or one team, they create the model from scratch, so they don't reuse anything from SES. Right? They create their own sounds, they do their own coding and whatnot for the different parts and the different logics and whatnot, right? Slow down here. There's the retarder. So maybe it won't be as intense as like building a 747 from scratch, right? But it's still a truck, and it still has lots of intricacies in there, even if you don't have to code in the autopilot or the navigation or whatnot. It's still a huge amount of work, and I'm more than happy to compensate people for the work that they put in. It's my way of supporting them. So I'm more than happy for payware stuff to be in there. I mean, I'm sure not everyone is, because yeah, as I mentioned, are focused on the previous Q&A. It might be also, and yes, you guys gave out some very nice comments as well. Thanks for your inputs. Very useful stuff. Makes a lot of sense. Some of you are saying, because I was saying maybe it's about age. Yeah, maybe when you're young, when you're in school, you don't have as much money, then you're less willing to shell out money. So you like freeware stuff more, and you don't see the sense in why you have to pay for stuff when you can get free stuff anyway. Yeah, maybe that's one thing. And then when you grow older, you start getting more funds, you know, more discretionary funds, and you're more willing to shell out money. That was what I said. But actually, your comments make a lot more sense, that it's not just about the age or where you are in life. Well, where you are in life is what it's about. And as you grow older, you know, when you're young, you're working or you're studying, you're doing stuff for free, you're not earning. And as you grow older and as you do stuff with your work, you start learning the value of your time. And as you learn the value of your time, you kind of learn the value of others' time as well. And so that gives a different perspective that opens up, I guess, in some cases, it opens up your mind to, oh, this guy, I know how important his time is, how valuable his time is. He spent hundreds of hours for this truck, or tens of hours for this truck. The least I could do is compensate him for it. So $20, $30, no problem. I mean, that amount of work for that amount of money, take my money. You know, it's stuff like that. So that's a very nice point of view, and I definitely agree with that. Of course, everyone will still be different. You know, we'll all still have different points of view, different preferences, different thresholds. Some people are willing to pay up to $5 USD, nothing more. Some people not willing to pay anything at all. And that's where the trick comes in. But yeah, that's how the open market works, right? You pay for the things that you think are worth it. And some people think it's worth it. That's why they are payware stuff. And for me, I would be gladly included in that payware category. More than happy to pay if the quality is there, and if there are no, like, if it's not stolen, if it works great, if there's, because the paying of the stuff, you know, paying for a product, it's not just the product, it's also the service. So what I would expect, what I would be happy to buy, is if it is a nice product first and foremost, for sure. But aside from that, if it has nice after sales support, or you know, stuff along those lines, if the developers are very easy to communicate with, whether that's for support or for future works, they're transparent, they share what they're doing, they show how much work they're putting into stuff, you know, it gives you more appreciation. You know, like SCS doing these under the hood blog posts, Some developers are very good at it, some modders are very good at it, that they show their progress, not in a bragging way, but they're so enthusiastic about what they do that they really like to share it. And it's like, it's a win-win because it gives you an update that things are progressing, but at the same time it also gives you an idea of how much work they're doing. So for me, when I see that, it makes me much more willing to shell out money, you know. I mean, this amount of work for such a small amount of money, my goodness, I can even pay more sometimes. That's what I think, but I don't say that to them specifically because they might raise the prices. But you know, so that's my perspective on that. And case in point, let's take Zmod for Exhibit A. Yeah, Zmod has started creating Payware stuff. His sounds, starting with the Scania V8, the SC14144. Did I remember that correctly? The 144 V8 sounds. Yes. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that. That's still my favorite sounds of all, and I gladly paid for it. No regrets there. And now he's working on some more stuff. I forgot, Cat C15 was it, or one US engine and one DSC16 164 from a Scania T. So he's showing in his Facebook page the updates, how intense that is, renting a truck, rigging it, doing the actual recording. He's updating the people, and it shows you the amount of hard work and dedication and passion that he has. How can you not support a person who has like that, right? Who shows that kind of amount of who has that kind of amount of passion in it. So for me, payware, freeware, not an issue anymore as long as the product is there, as long as the service is there. And that moves on to the next related topic from Plum here. He's really focused on the payware versus freeware because we've had a lot of debates about that in the past months. So nice to see that it's bringing awareness. Should I go straight? Yes, I should. Okay. Would you rather see more paid mod authors go for voluntary payments over forced payments? Yeah, some people prefer it that way, you know, donation based. But yeah, it's a bit tricky. I think I touched upon this in a previous video. It's a bit tricky because in a donation based system, it's too much of a random factor. So I guess it depends. If you look at it as a hobby, if it's a hobby for you, then yes, donation-based systems work very well. You're doing stuff for free, but if someone wants to donate on the side, then you're not going to say no, right? And that's more than okay. But if you're making this your livelihood, if this is your full-time job, then you really need to earn, and it's going to be hard to rely on random donations unless you come to a point where the mods you have gathered enough support that the randomness has actually become quite stable already. If you get enough volume in there, if you get enough activities, then there kind of forms a pattern already, so it's not as random anymore. If you get to that stage, then yes, it could work, but in the beginning especially, I don't think it's going to be sustainable. So for me, donation stuff, it's a bit tricky. I wouldn't advise that for some people who would want to go full-time into the payware space. And I hate even more the donation, the quote-unquote donation-based systems, but they're actually payware. If you donate this much, then you get this one. That's basically payware, just termed differently. I would rather we go up front and say, you pay $10 and you get this, rather than this is free, but you have to donate $10 and then you get access to it. I don't know, it just blurs the line, right? It's either donation based, so it's free and there are no commitments and you get everything, or it's paid and you have to pay to access. Let's keep things simpler. So yes, I'm one or the other is okay, depending on what you're aiming for. It always starts on what you really want to do. If this is just a pastime, then donation stuff should not be a problem at all. If this is just something that's extra, you know, you can get a bit more, you know, buy some extra upgrades or eat at a fancy restaurant thanks to the earnings and stuff. Oh, I love this view. Man, I totally enjoyed this drive. Hope you guys did as well. If I can remember where the quick save button is, there you go, because I'll take a screenshot here. I'm absolutely loving the smoothness of this. Didn't actually feel that it was 500 kilometers already that we've been driving in. Looks so good and so smooth. Hopefully on your end as well, guys. Right. Next question. Do I have time for one more question? 5 kilometers. We're almost there, but maybe... yeah, maybe I can cover it. What are some big features you'd like to see in flight sims? As it feels MSFS has everything when you add add-ons. Actually, now that I think about it, that might be better suited for a flight sim stream, huh? Some people might not be interested here, so I'll postpone that. It's a very good question. I'll have to think upon it a bit more, actually. Try and remember. But yes, I think I'll save that for a flight sim Q&A, if you guys don't mind. In the meantime, let's enjoy the drive here, because I am really loving the winding roads here. I haven't driven here in Italy for so long. I miss how it looks, and I guess it's also majorly because of the lighting update. Everything just looks so realistically vibrant, is how I would put it. You know, it's bright enough but not overly blinding or not artificially looking. It still looks natural and it's very pleasing to the eyes. SCS, I think, has done a wonderful job here, tweaking the lighting for so long. I think, how long have we been in beta, guys? More than a month? Feels like it. I think we've been in beta for over a month now. But I would say it's not for nothing. The hard work they're pouring into this. Oh, please don't hit the sign. Might have sped up too much there. Yeah, the resulting lighting is something that I think is worth the wait. But yes, that's why I couldn't leave 140 beta anymore. As much as I would love to try some of the other mods, I don't want to get rid of this lighting. Even comparing with Natural Lux, I think I'm liking this better now. That might be my goldfish memory talking, because I might not remember the super scenic sights from Natural Lux anymore, but yes, how this looks at the moment. I think this is the perfect balance between image quality and performance. Even though if you look hard enough at the cloud, you still see some pixelations. It's not the highest quality. It ensures that you don't have any stuttering. And the problem with Natural Lux before was it used so high quality skyboxes that even if you had a very high end rig, at some points you would still get some stuttering, so it won't be as smooth. It's not that bad, but it's not as smooth as this one. So yeah, I think overall I'm really liking this now. Alitalia cargo, perfect for this place. It's not perfect, as I see that there's actually a steerable axle there at the back. Not my favorite. Yeah, it makes things so finicky. That's okay. I can make it work. Okay, we have space here. Let's make it bend a little. Yeah, look at how the reflection goes from that curved insider. You can actually see the grooves of each segment of the curtain sider in there. Very nice reflections. Looks so real, doesn't it? There you go. Very good. Maybe close the windows before you do that. Rex looks happy there. Yeah, if you noticed, even the window sounds are custom from Max. Very nice. Alright. Good. Good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoy talking with you guys. Looking forward to your comments as always, and look forward to more Q&A videos because we are getting lots more questions again. Thanks for pouring them in. Let me know what you think, and if you have questions of your own, there should be a Google form in the video description. Thanks. Have a nice day. Clumsy Trucking, and catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.